Assalamu alaikum. I am reading an article by renowned journalist Mr. Maqbool Ahmed Siraj. Please listen to it. A little over 60% of India's Muslims reside in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, and Assam, and the splinter states from them. Though they take a huge slice of share in the parliament and the central financial cake, these states lag in terms of education, industrial and economic development. Muslims equally share their backwardness, yet majority of the Indian Muslim leadership hails from these states. Most of the time, these leaders indulge in victimhood politics and their narrative suffers from fatalism. To some extent, this can be attributed to the impact of partition, which split the Muslim community, robbing it away of its cream, which migrated to the new nation in the West and East. This leadership's excessive emphasis on identity has not allowed the community to think of educational and economic development. The leadership has been taking up emotional issues such as Shah Banu case, 1986 onwards, ban on books by Rushdie and Taslima Nasreen, Arab marriages of Amina and Kanis, Babari Masjid versus Ram Janmabhoomi, Triple Talaq, holiday for Eid, Miladun Nabi, etc. These issues have stirred the emotional crucible repeatedly until the Hindutva forces began to use them as handle for counter-polarization, the ultimate result of which is now before us. During the 1970s, the Muslim political thinking rotated around Urdu, Muslim personal law, and Aligarh Muslim University's minority character. Most of the Muslim leadership in the north of India comes from thousands of madrasas. Uttar Pradesh has 23,000 registered madrasas. Bihar has around 4,000. Since most of these leaders can speak Urdu with the authentic pronunciation, Ain, Ghain, Fe, Qaf, Za, Sad, Zad, and Sheen. An average naive Muslim individual considers them authentic leaders. This journalist began his journalistic career from Indian Express in Madras, now Chennai, as a staff reporter in the later half of 1978. During the career spanning over 47 years, I have worked as a journalist, columnist, and in editorial capacity while based in Madras, Bengaluru, and Delhi for various dailies, newspapers, and even for the BBC World Service. This career led me to nearly 250 cities in India and around 75 cities abroad. I covered Uttar Pradesh in the 1991 and 1996 Lok Sabha elections extensively. One could see a lot of Bahrul Ulum, Kashiful Ulum, Faizul Ulums, Darul Ulums, and Ziaul Ulooms in town like Lucknow, Bahraich, Kasganj, Barabanki, Kanpur, Fatehpur, Amroha, Sambhal, Moradabad, Ghaziabad, Deoria, Azamgarh, and elsewhere. None of them is different from the other. They all teach the out-of-date Darshan-e-Nizami, which was put in place 400 years ago. These madrasas take away vast chunk of fitra, zakat, sadaqah, and sacrificial skin, charma qurbani. The Maulvis urge before the audience that the best way to give away the charities is to offer them to these madrasas, and they feel no qualms in performing deluxe class umrah every Ramzan, spending these sums. One can barely see Muslim schools, colleges, universities, hostels, PGs, banks, cooperatives, industries, etc. in the Hindi heartland, barring exceptions. बहुत ही अफसोस की बात है. The Aligarh Muslim University is an illustrious exception. Muslims needed modern education when the sun set over the Mughal Empire. Sir Syed Ahmed Khan felt the pulse of the new age and ignited the fuse in this regard with the MAO College, which is today the most known university started by Muslims in the subcontinent. But later, it became a victim of ulama's reaction, and more madrasas began to be founded and funded in UP, Bihar, and other northern states. While modern education, employment, business, livelihood, media, finance, and banking, libraries, participation in bureaucracy, professional bodies, legislatures are more important issues. The leadership talks of personal law, hijab, and protection for madrasas. Now we see invisibilization of the community. Why do we need banners of and campaign for I love Muhammad in streets of UP? Is it not like showing a red rag to a raging bull? Perhaps the Muslims in the north need to learn a lesson or two from South Indian Muslims who keep a low profile but do more substantial work to empower the community. Sir Syed's educational movement sparked the plug in South India as early as the dawn of 20th century. Madras, now Chennai, saw establishment of Mohammedan College in 1905. My father, who hailed from Kur district, then part of Madras municipality, but now part of Karnataka, earned his degree from that college in 1936. Today, this college has been rechristened as Qaid-e-Millat Government College for Women and stands proudly in the heart of Chennai. Islamia High School and Islamia College in Vanambadi, a small town in Tamil Nadu known for leather industry, came up in 1903 and 1919 respectively. Jamal Muhammad College in Tiruchi came up in 1951. Today, Tamil Nadu Muslims alone run over 50 degree colleges 2 or 3 universities, 20 engineering colleges, and numerous other modern educational institutions, although they constitute only about 5.6%, less than Christians, who form 6.5% of the population. Karnataka saw the rise of modern education with Dr. Mumtaz Ahmed Khan setting up Al Amin College in Bangalore in 1964. Today, Bangalore alone has over 550 English medium schools run by Muslims, 50 of which are A-grade schools, and possibly more than 60% of their students and faculties are non-Muslims. 50 PU and degree colleges and 3 universities which are not known as Muslim universities. We can pursue the Muslim presence in the modern life of Karnataka, its industries, bureaucracy, education, universities, and media. Karnataka has 5 universities set up by Muslims. One among them is Mangalore is Medical University, imparting education in medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, and nursing. Even otherwise, Muslims run 4 medical colleges, around 17 engineering colleges, dozens of polytechnics, ITs, nursing and pharmacy, and B.Ed colleges in the state. Of Bangalore's 625 supermarkets, around 500 are owned by Muslims, mainly Malayalam speaking ones. India's second largest construction company, Prestige Group, is owned by a Muslim from Bangalore. Several of cities' iconic structures bear its signature. A Muslim businessman has set up a currency museum in the city, first of its kind in India. A Muslim woman has set up a state-of-the-art art gallery at the top floor of the city's most known skyscraper. In 1991, riots in the city, a Muslim-owned supermarket was ransacked in Rajaji Nagar locality. Its reputation was so fair that Hindu clientele of the locality gathered to fund him to stand on its own again. Even otherwise, several constructions groups such as Canopy, Redefines, Wakils, IBC, and several others are owned by Muslims. So, while choosing an apartment, there is no question of Muslims being denied sale or renting or being segregated. Several tech parks in the city built by these companies have air-conditioned musallas without outer manifestations of mirrors or domes. Even Muslim women techies can be seen praying in hijab there. Several shopping malls in fashionable areas of the city too have musallas. Several mosques have public libraries where non-Muslim brethren are regular visitors. Many poor non-Muslim laborers partake of meals provided by langars in the city's mosque. Mercy Mission, a Muslim NGO, ran dozens of kitchens for feeding of poor, unemployed laborers during 2 years of pandemic. They spent rupees 16 crore on distribution of ration kits among the deserving families. Indian Railways ran 330 Sharmik expresses from the city during the second round of lockdown in order to take workers from Bihar, Bengal, Assam, other NE states to their home states. The BJP government, pleased with Mercy Mission's work, funded them to supply food bags to the returning laborers in these Sharmik expresses. Muslim Industries Association MIA has 600 industrial units as its members. It holds its exhibitions biennially. Several of them have set up units across the Arabian Sea. Several five-star hotels in Bengaluru are owned by Muslim businessmen. Leaders like Aziz Seth, Nazir Saab did a lot of work to raise the standards of BD workers, transporter workers, tailors, etc. It doesn't mean everything is hunky-dory for Muslims in Karnataka. They are still a much backward community in comparison to Lingayats 11% and Vokaligas 13%. Every alternate chief minister comes from these two communities. Even Brahman presence has been dwarfed due to their rise. Almost all districts of Old Mysore state have Muslim cooperative banks, some of which are a century old. Very few people outside Mangalore in India know that Cooperation Bank based in Mangalore was set up in 1906 by a Muslim businessman Haji Abdullah. Cooperation Bank was nationalized and made a scheduled bank in early 1880s and was merged with Union Bank of India in 2020. The townsfolk of Udupi, a small town from where Haji Abdullah hailed, has a Haji Abdullah Museum dedicated to his memory. As for Kerala, the Gulf wealth was pumped into modern education in 1980s in setting up Muslim schools, colleges, ITs, polytechnics. Today, Kerala Muslims run 200 degree colleges, nearly 24 engineering and medical colleges, MBA colleges, and polytechnics. Kerala businessmen like Gulfar Muhammad Ali, Faisal Kottikodan, and Yusuf Ali, who grew up as noted businessmen in the Gulf, have now set up Lulu shopping malls, hospitals, and supermarkets in the southern states. Faisal Kotolan has set up an industrial estate and precast factory in Krishnagiri in Tamil Nadu on 500,000 acres. Malabar Gold, a Muslim-owned company, has over 260 outlets across the world. Tangal Kunju Musliyar, a cashew businessman from Kottayam, set up the first Muslim-run engineering college, namely KTM Engineering College in Koilan, at least 70 years ago. Its foundation stone was laid by first President Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and it was opened by Union Minister Dr. Humayun Kabir in 1958. Former ISRO Chief Somnath is an alumni of this college. All that I imply while presenting this picture of Muslims in southern states is that they have leaders who have done more substantial work than merely indulging in identity related rhetoric. In northern states, Muslims rant up victimhood. This world respects giver's hand, not the seeker's hands. We need to probe as to how to bring about the turnaround in our situation. It is therefore essential for Muslims in Bihar and UP not to give an ear to rhetoric raising leaders. Muslim Personal Law Board has not done any kind of reform in the laws and Muslim attitude. It has never held a workshop even to create an awareness about talaq, nikah, mahar, virasat, succession, etc. Among the Muslim women, triple talaq needed to be abandoned long back. The proposed nikah nama is still in limbo. Muslims need to divert their sadaqah, fitra, zakat, and charma qurbani from madrasas to schools, libraries, media, PG facilities, hostels, book banks, scholarships, financing of entrepreneurs, and setting up charitable endowments for langar yatal. We need to revisit the sacrifice of animals during Bakrid too, as we have moved away from the pastoral society to a modern society where hunger combat is not the major priority. Sacrifice Qurbani on behalf of all the NRIs settled in the West is done in India. All that it implies is that sacrifice of animals has lost its social relevance in most parts of the world. We need to have a rethink on this issue. It is very explosive, a subject for an average cleric, I admit, but a debate must start now. Muslims have to be disassociated from spending their money on unnecessary umrahs, which are essentially holy picnics. Apologies to those who differ. Marriages and walimas and fatihas run 10 langars in cities like Patna, Lucknow, Kanpur, and see how communalism subsides. The challenges ahead are stupendous, and ulama are not simply fit to lead the community. The modern educated youth must take up the task of leadership. M.A. Siraj, associate editor, news trial, English daily, published from Bangalore and Doha simultaneously. Bangalore. Phone number 9845063701. ہم سب جانتے ہیں کہ مقبول احمد سراج صاحب ایک ایسے صحافی ہیں جن کے دل و دماغ میں قوم کی بھلائی کا جذبہ ہمیشہ رہتا ہے. وہ ملک و ملت کی خدمت کرنے میں کسی سے پیچھے نہیں ہیں. ان کی باتوں سے یہی بات ثابت ہوتی ہے. میں مقبول احمد سراج صاحب کو زمانے سے جانتا ہوں. وہ بہت سے رسالوں سے تعلق رکھتے تھے اور ایک فارین میگزین سے بھی تعلق رکھتے تھے. ان کے اس مضمون میں جسے میں نے آپ کو پڑھ کر سنایا ہے، آپ معلوم کر سکتے ہیں کہ ان کا سفر صحافی دنیا میں کیسے رہا ہے. ہم امید کرتے ہیں کہ مقبول احمد سراج صاحب اسی طرح ملک و ملت کی خدمت کرتے رہیں گے. دعا ہے کہ اللہ تبارک و تعالی مقبول احمد سراج صاحب کو صحت کے ساتھ طویل عمر عطا کرے. آپ کو مقبول احمد سراج صاحب کا مضمون جو کہ میں نے آپ کو پڑھ کر سنایا ہے کیسے لگا، ضرور مطلع کیجیے گا. آئندہ نوازش ہوگی. اچھا تو اب اجازت، انشاءاللہ پھر ملاقات ہوگی. خدا حافظ، فی امان اللہ.